Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mud. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're all force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Ken. And welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. And of course, now we will be the new home of Gary Bears. Just kidding. I've been through this before. For those who don't remember, well, let me give you guys some of why this is happening today. It wouldn't be the NFL if there wasn't some kind of drama, right? So yesterday, Kevin Warren said the following, and I quote, "This is not about leverage. We spent years trying to build a new home in Cook County. We invested significant time and resources evaluating multiple sites and rationally decided on Arlington Heights. Our fans deserve a world-class stadium. Our players and coaches deserve a venue that matches the championship standard they strive for every day. With that in mind, our organization must keep every credible pathway open to deliver the future." This being said he said this because the Bears are expanding their stadium search across Chicagoland area and Northwest Indiana. That was what was being reported. Now, for those of us who are older and can remember after the 85 Bears, there was this time period where the Bears wanted to upgrade Soldier Field. And the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois said not no, but hell no. So said, okay, fine, we'll just move to Gary. And that went on for like a year. And finally, the state and the city relented, and the spaceship that has now landed inside Soldier Field hence appeared. And in 2001 or two, whatever it was, right, we played at U of I while they refurbished Soldier Field to its current form. What's going on is while Governor Pritzker is too busy fighting the federal government and spending its money on non-residents, he has said, we will give not one penny to a stadium being built in the city of Chicago or anywhere in the Chicagoland area for the Chicago Bears to stay in Illinois. Cook County, well, the city of Arlington Heights has said, hey, we'll give you tax credits, breaks, we'll do things. We'll make it so that it's easy for the Bears to stay in the area and utilize the land that you've already purchased at Arlington. So Arlington Heights is doing their part. The county, Cook County, which Arlington Heights resides in as well as the city of Chicago, has said, well, we're going to do what the city of Chicago wants, and if you build, we're giving you zero breaks. And in fact, we're going to tax you more on the property, blah, 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 blah. So, okay. What do you do if you're the Bears? Well, I don't have to build in Arlington. Yeah, I own the racetrack land, but I can only sell the land to make a profit down the line with it, right? I can do other things with it. However, there are other Northwest burbs that are in Lake County, right out like 15 minutes, like 15 miles, not even 15 miles away, 10 miles away from Arlington Heights is Lake County. Hallis Hall resides in Lake County. Lake Forest is in Lake County. There is tons of land up there that could be bought and a stadium could be built. Up by Naval Air Station, Great Lakes, there's tons of land that can be bought. And a new stadium could be built by Six Flags Great America in Gurnee. You could build something. Think about Gurnee is perfect. You got Six Flags, you got the Gurnee Mills, which is a huge mall that all the sailors like to go to on their 4-day pass. You've got other things up there. So, yeah, it can go to Lake County, considering that 75% of season ticket holders live in the northwest suburbs. It's not that far of a drive.
But let me
So-
ask you this, Ken.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think that the city of Chicago had any sway on Arlington Heights making that decision to not
None
give tax
whatsoever-
breaks?
None whatsoever in Arlington Heights, because Arlington Heights is giving the tax break. What had happened is that the county is bending its knee to the city.
Right.
Arlington Heights and Chicago are both in Cook County. Arlington Heights told the city of Chicago, F you, we're going to give them the tax breaks. We're going to do this. We're going to do the things necessary to bring the franchise here. That's why they moved the Arlington Heights from the city, because the city refused to do anything.
No, but
The county-
okay, so the county then. What I'm
It's the
saying is like, so you don't think that if Cook County, like you're talking about going to another county, right? Like you don't think that at that point that some big shot in the state legislature who happens to reside in Chicago most likely is just going to like put pressure on that county to do the same thing? It seems to me where they're trying to pigeonhole the Bears into staying in the city of Chicago.
It's not going to happen. That's the thing. Like, there's no big shot in government, state government, that's going to tell Lake County what to do. What's the governor going to do? Tell the Lake County that it's not going to give it state tax dollars if they let the Bears build a stadium in Barrington. You know what I'm saying?
No, but no. It's not going to be anything directly out in the open like that. But come on, like, Ken, you can't be you can't be naive here. Like I know you are.
I know the way that politics in Chicago works, but the city of Chicago is fucked. They are not. The Bears will not reside downtown Chicago. They're fucked. And you know what? The worst case scenario, let them fuck around and find out, because they'll move it to Gary. They've talked about it. It was 40 years ago. They've talked about moving it to Gary. Then what are you going to do? By the way, they'll still retain the name Chicago Bears because Gary, Indiana is the Chicago Metroland area. So guess what? They move it to Gary. The state of Indiana says, please build a second NFL franchise stadium in our state. We'll give you whatever tax breaks you want. The city of Gary would give them the land for free and the tax breaks to boot. Bears fans will bitch about it for a minute, but guess what? They'll take the Sky Bridge at $7 a pop to cross it and go to Gary to watch the Bears, because they already pay the toll to cross the bridge to go to Binion's Horseshoe Casino.
My opinion, like, as much as like I want to make fun of it, there's no way the fucking Bears are leaving Illinois. It ain't gonna happen. Watch.
Well, first off, Illinois, the singular state.
Yeah, I always say Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they're not leaving.
Ken Warren says this is not a ploy; it's a ploy. Let's talk about who's being naive here. It's a ploy. He's saying, okay, he's leveraging Cook County right now. Say, well, I can always move the Bears out of Cook County. I mean, Hallis Hall already resides in Lake County.
We also can't forget Joe is also a fan of a franchise that went through this not too long ago. So he's got that perspective with it. Of he saw one of, they're not leaving California. And then all of a sudden Vegas came in and said, hey, we're going to give you all this to do it. Oh, okay. We'll move over to Vegas.
Same thing with Rams in St. Louis. You know what I mean? They couldn't find anything with
it. Was a bit the Rams was different. Cranky couldn't wait to get out of St. Louis. Whereas Mark Davis wanted to stay in Oakland, but the city wouldn't give him the money.
So I was living in the St. Louis area when that happened, and that was what was her name? Linda Fournette or whatever her name was. When her husband died, the second he died and she inherited the team, she came home to St. Louis and brought the team with her. And then when she passed away and the new ownership took over, they took it right back to LA. So that's a different scenario. But the Raiders are a good scenario. Like, hey, the city of Oakland refused. Now they were a little more extreme, right? We're going to a different state, like hours and hours away. The thing with Gary has happened before. The thing with moving to Lake County, not a big deal. Actually, this is the best time for them to be talking about it, Mike, with the state, as long as it doesn't interfere with the team. I get Mike's comment here, right? We need to focus on the season, the football. Yeah, the team does. Kevin Warren needs to focus on the stadium, and using the team's success is great leverage right now for him. So right now he's got a team that's exceeding expectations. That's a 10-win team looking like it's going to make the playoffs. You've got the county, which is kind of like, well, acting the fool, but you've got a team that's generating a ton of revenue for Cook County and the city right now. And like, okay, well, we can leave Cook County. We can go to Lake County, which is, by the way, where Hallis Hall already is. We could build the stadium in Libertyville. There's farmland out there we can still buy and build a stadium. So now that the stadium is literally 2 miles away from Hallis Hall. I mean, let's not forget that. Like, Hallis Hall is in Lake County, and there is land available in Lake County.
And Mike, to answer your question, it hasn't just came up this year. It's been coming up for several years about Bears possible Arlington
time. I mean, I get what he's saying.
I mean, the Arlington Bears was floated around for almost a couple years now.
They announced before the season started that they were going to build in Arlington, and Mike is saying, "Why are we talking about not building in Arlington and going elsewhere now?" That's what he's saying.
Yeah, he's saying we should be talking about football and not about football.
Right,
is what he's saying.
Yeah,
I get that part. I get that part, but I'm saying it's been hanging over the Bears' heads all the last couple of seasons.
This has not. That's the point. That's the point Mike's making. This was put to bed at the beginning of the season. Now it's being brought back up and changed because at the beginning of the season they said we are going to build in Arlington, and now, yesterday it's like, well, hold our beer, maybe not. We might be building elsewhere, and that's what Mike's saying. Wait, this was put to bed. This is the bad time.
Yeah, negotiations never stop. Negotiations never stop. You know what I mean? The front office, they're doing things, even though the players are playing, they're letting the players play, the coaches coach, and they're handling the business side of things,
So, I mean, Mike's kind of correct in one way. If it's a risky proposition for Mike Warren and the Bears to be saying it, because if it affects what the team is doing, which I don't think it will, but that's what he says. Like, don't let this affect what's happening on the field. And this is a bad time to bring it up because it gets in the media, it gets in the fans, it gets in social media, and that could distract the team. I honestly don't think it's going to distract the players at all. And you know what? Here's what happens. Hey, Ken, or Joe. I'll go Ken. I'm interviewing Ken now, who's a Bear, not a Packer, for sake of this argument. Hey, Ken. So what do you think about the Bears maybe moving to Lake County or Gary?
Well, that's absolutely terrible. I can't take it. I'm just not going to play ever again. And
Ken's a bad example.
I'm going to say you set yourself up for that one.
Yeah, I mean, well, I figured that you could be an adult.
You asked the Packer fan.
And I guess wrong. The players will be like, yeah, I really don't care. I got a game to focus about. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, if they go to Gary, and look at Gary, Indiana is great leverage because not only are they moving them out of the county, they're moving out of the state, which may force Pritzker and company to maybe make a change in that regard. If it's just a matter of Cook County because they already own the land in Arlington and don't have to do anything else, it's just the Cook County Board of Commissioners going, yeah, we'll give you the tax breaks. Forget what the city wants. Because Gary is a dump, but could you imagine what would happen if the Bears put a stadium there? They already saw it. Gary looks a lot better now with that horseshoe is not far away. You put the stadium there, it's going to revitalize that entire area.
Can't say it with me, Gary Bears.
So, I mean, honestly, I think the best option for the Bears, if it's not going to be Arlington now, go to Lake County, which is where Hallis Hall is. Find you some farmland out there, I think Great Lakes.
I think they rather commit to Arlington because it's going to be a dome stadium, as they agreed to. It's going to be, it's going to be like, a bunch of fucking shopping, a lot of fucking a big area where,
a lot of big changes the location. Honestly, the only thing that'll change the location.
They said they were going to do a dome stadium. They were saying a lot of things, and it's faster to get there for a lot of fucking, a lot of traveling fans.
The actual stadium itself, it'd be the same. I mean, the only thing that would change, the only thing that would change there, Isaac, that you're talking about is the transportation, because we're there at Arlington, the Metro line is not far.
I'm hearing from a lot of
away. I mean, that's the only thing. There's no. You could take the red line into O'Hare, catch a bus from O'Hare, I guess. If you're coming from the city, you could take the Metro in, into Arlington Heights and go to the metro station there.
Mhm.
It's right off 53. Okay, that from that aspect, yes. But everything else about it would be the same if it's in Lake County. If you go to Libertyville and built it, you don't have a red line that goes there. But you still got hell. Most of your fans live in that area anyways. So I mean,
I'm hearing from a lot of Chicago fans. It's going to be a dome stadium now.
it's going to be a dome stadium regardless of wherever they put it, Isaac. I mean, that's not an argument. Whether it's in Lake County, Gary, or Arlington, the stadium is going to be the same.
All right.
But I don't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I get they're doing it for money, like the dome, but you're taking away the whole natural advantage of playing in the cold. Like
Once again, though, that argument was put to bed over a year ago, 2 years ago, when they were still debating whether it was going to be in the city or in Arlington. It was always going to be a dome stadium. The only thing they're talking about is the piece of land they're going to put this stadium on may now change from Arlington Heights to maybe Lake County or Gary. Nothing else is changing in terms of the stadium.
I understand. My point is that I'm just expressing my disagreement with building a dome. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole nother argument, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
real football play in the elements.
I mean, look, and I get that. We've had this argument in the summer and everything else about dome versus open air, and look at Cleveland's going dome, Chicago's going dome, and there's a reason they go dome.
I was gonna say, I
get
think
WrestleManias, they get concerts, they get Monster Truck Series, they get NCAA Final Fours, they get NCAA college football tournament, they get all kinds of other stuff. So dome stadiums is why they go, because of the revenue they generate year round. That's why they're going dome. I mean, there's no secret there. I mean, that's financially driven too. But look at what Kevin Warren said. He says, well, it's not a ploy. No, it is a ploy. They're trying to get Cook County and the state of Illinois to at least Cook County. I think they're okay with the state of Illinois not ponying up any money. Like, they're fine. We'll build our own and we'll keep the money. The state will have no ownership in it whatsoever. They'll have no stake. We're going to do what we want. But if Cook County wants to play stupid, they're like, well, dude, we can always move 10 miles north to Lake County and put the stadium there. And now you and the city both lose, because guess what? The further you move from the city, the less the city's going to get in tourism.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, broski?
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. Like, they purchased that Arlington Heights property almost 3 years ago. They purchased it in February of 2023, and yeah, as soon as they purchased it, there's all the speculation. Oh, the Bears are going to move to Arlington Heights. Well, the Bears have expressed multiple times they want to stay in Chicago. Like, that's their first choice. It's just between Brandy Johnson and the mayor of Chicago and the people in Chicago, and then you have fat ass Governor Pritzker. Like, they're not willing to. Not only are they not willing to help financially, they're not willing to. There's no sense of urgency either. Like, they're kind of just treating it like it's not a big deal, whatever. Well,
look, I don't want to get
and then the whole thing too is like the mayor of Arlington Heights wants to play ball and wants to help, but he's kind of like not getting any help from what I gather, the county or the state as well. And it's like, that's a problem. This is messy, obviously. And, the Governor Braun from Indiana has already said, let's get it done, man. I'm ready to do a deal. Let's rock and roll on this thing. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here.
Broski, say it with me, Gary Bears.
Okay, so
Hammond, Indiana.
When Warren says that this isn't that they're not leveraging, they're leveraging. Okay, because what Broski said is correct, right? Arlington Heights has said, we'll give you the tax credits in the city of Arlington Heights. We'll give you the things you need to build this complex. The county now is not playing ball because the city of Chicago said, you better play ball, or I don't know, we're going to do X, whatever the city thinks they can do. And the city does have some power within the county, obviously. But the Bears are like, you know what? We don't have to build in Lake County. And I don't want to get political, but look at Pritzker's like, we will not give the Bears a single tax break. We will not spend $1 of taxpayer money, nothing for this stadium, because he's, unfortunately, and this is where I don't want to get political, but this is what's going on. He wants to fight a war with President Trump over illegal immigration. And he wants to protect people who are here illegally and spend state dollars on protecting people from ICE, from the federal government, from the federal government enforcing federal law, and he wants to basically protect what he feels is his right to protect these quote unquote Illinois citizens, even though they're not citizens of Illinois. They're not citizens of the United States of America. They're here they've entered the country through non-legal means. That's the political piece of it, right? That's the political piece of it that's the elephant in the room. We can't ignore that there's this fight going on. And so because he's spending all this money and resources, right? He's like, he can't give any money to the Bears because the illegal immigration fight is where all his money is going. And not only that, but because of that and the raising of taxes and the flight of people leaving the state of Illinois, and there have been millions of people, or hundreds of thousands, who have left Illinois. Illinois is shrinking. Illinois, California, New York, all three states are shrinking. The states are growing: Texas, Florida, Tennessee, Indiana, because that's where the citizens are moving to. So Governor Pritzker also has a thing. He has a rising cost of fighting the federal government on immigration. He's got lowering tax revenue because the high earners are leaving as they're being taxed more. So that's where he's drawn his line in the sand. And the Bears are like, on one level, the Bears are like, okay, fine, Pritzker, you don't have to give me money, or even the tax breaks per se. Like, as long as the county and the township are playing ball, we're okay. That's kind of like the stance that they kind of took. Well, now the county's like, well, we're not going to play ball. We're going to keep the screws to you. Yeah. So they're like, well, Lake County's going to play ball. Gary, Indiana, and the governor of Indiana are like, let's get it done. We'll do whatever is necessary. So what are you going to do, Cook County? Are you going to let the Bears walk over this? Which,
and Ken,
honestly, go ahead.
I was going to say there's a couple other things too. It's like, so Illinois is not officially or technically bankrupt, but they're in pension debt. They're in, like, their long-term budget is in a deficit. Their credit rating sucks. You know what I mean? And plus, let's not forget, and it sounds funny, but it's actually true. Like, all these socialist far lefty Democrats like Pritzker, they also consider football toxic masculinity. So, it's crazy to say, but it actually, and it's not like the main factor, but it does factor in. And it's just a shitty Illinois political positioning war, and it's crazy.
This is the bad part where sports and politics kind of intersect, and really, and here's the thing that's even worse about it. Right, at the end of the day, who loses out? The fans do, and actually, the state and the city and the county will all lose out, because professional sport franchises generate millions of dollars of revenue. Millions upon millions of dollars in ticket sales, beer sales, hot dog sales, jerseys, programs, hotels, restaurants, taxi cabs, Ubers, you name it. You're talking millions of dollars in revenue. Airline tickets, job creation.
State tax, because the jock tax, like we talked about.
Tax, job creation. Think about all the jobs that are created in the short term for about the year or 2 year period of building the stadium and its complex. Then think of all the employment that happens when the stadium opens and the shops open around it and the hotels that now are operating at a higher capacity, and maybe new hotels have to be built in Arlington Heights or whatever. There's a lot of money. You're talking millions and millions of dollars a year. I don't want to say hundreds of millions, but it could be in the hundreds of millions. I don't know. I haven't deep dove that much into it, but think of it this way. NFL franchises are making billions of dollars, right? Like we saw when we did the jock tax thing, right? About a year and a half ago, how in that year prior, the Minnesota Vikings cleared $1 billion in profit. How much revenue do you think the city of Minneapolis makes or Minneapolis-St. Paul makes because the Vikings are there? Now imagine Chicago, an even bigger city, the revenue that they make, that they will now lose.
That's why I circle back. That's why I circle back to my first opinion. It's not losing Illinois. See, I pronounced it right there, Ken. But
Isaac, you didn't pronounce it like a dumb fucking redneck.
Yeah, it's not leaving Illinois though. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. They make too much money off of it. Yeah, they won't give you the tax breaks, but they'll find a way to keep it here instead of them going to
If they
Indiana or
don't
some
give
other
them the
state.
tax breaks, they
Mhm.
won't build it there because they'll go to the most. Look, let me go back to another thing Chicago lost out on just a few short years ago. Boeing was looking to build their new stealth technologies operations center where they were going to build the next generation of stealth fighter, do R&D, build and fly. Seattle, Chicago, and the Space Coast were all up. Guess where it went? Yeah, it's at the Space Coast. It's here in Florida. Why? Better corporate taxes, better tax breaks. Illinois wasn't going to give Boeing the tax breaks they wanted to move their corporate headquarters and their stealth technology stuff there. So they moved it all to Florida. Where did Tesla just move to? Texas. Where did the New York Stock Exchange just move 95% of its financial business to? Texas.
So Ken, you're saying they're going to become the Disney Bears?
Hey, you know what?
Moving to Orlando.
But
hey, I tell you what. Orlando really wants a team. They've been trying for years.
Their best sponsor will be Disney.
Look, like when the Raiders were going through this, the city of Oakland, the mayor, Libby Schaaf, who was just completely she was just dumb, dude. She said, no, we're not going to give. They only had to contribute $200 million towards the stadium. She said, no, we're not going to give any taxpayer funds. So the Raiders said, okay, we don't need the taxpayer funds. Just donate the land that the stadium is on, and we'll take care of the rest. We'll finance the whole stadium. Mark Davis put up $500 million of his own money, his entire stake in the team as collateral. The city of Oakland said, no, we're not going to give you the land either. Then Sheldon Adelson and a group from Vegas decided, hey, like we could get there's a chance we could get the Raiders here. Well, the second that Mark Davis announced that the Raiders were going to move to Las Vegas, what did the city of Oakland do? The city of Oakland sued the Raiders for negotiating in bad faith and trying to leave when the Raiders did everything they possibly could to stay in Oakland. So that's what I'm saying is like looking into the crystal ball, this situation could turn very similar to that situation because the Bears aren't asking for money. They're not asking for land. They have everything. They don't need the city. They don't need the county really. Like they need the county to play ball, right? Like, but if the county's not willing to, then they're going to go somewhere else. And if they do, don't be surprised if the city of Chicago all of a sudden sues the Bears to try to keep them in Chicago.
Let me add one more thing, Ken, before you jump in. If they were to move to Gary, the Cook County and the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois isn't only losing the stadium and the football team, but do you really think they'll keep Hallis Hall in Lake Forest, which is up north of the city, when the team would be southeast of the city? No, they're going to lose Hallis Hall in Lake County as well. So if the Bears were to move to Gary, Indiana, not only would the state lose the stadium, they would lose Hallis Hall and all it provides.
Now, since I got two Bear fans here, I want to get your opinion. Would them, and we'll start with Broski there and have you finish, Ken. Would them moving affect your fandom at all in any way, shape, or form? Or is that just this is where they happen to play games, and I'm a Bears fan no matter if it's Chicago, Gary, Orlando.
Ken, let me stop you really quick. You're talking to two Bears fans, one that lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, and one that lives in Florida. I don't think it matters to either of us.
I've heard a lot of fans move off their teams for that reason, even not being from that area. But Broski, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so for me, I am just looking forward to it. Like they need to build a modern stadium. They need a stadium with much more capacity. I'm not sure if Joe and Isaac are aware of the Soldier Field's the lowest capacity stadium in the NFL with 55,000. So, I look at it like a fresh start kind of thing, which I feel they really need. And, along with that, I am actually hoping that with the new stadium, whenever it's built, whenever they move in, they actually, change the uniforms and update them. I'm fine with the colors, but, let's just get a new symbol on the helmet. Let's just get a new design. Let's just freshen it up a little. You know what I'm saying? So me, it's not going to affect anything. I'd actually give them credit for getting out of that socialist libtard hellhole known as Illinois. I would actually say, you know what? I bashed the ownership of the Bears. I would be like, great job, guys, on this one.
I 100% agree. I mean, look at if they go to Gary, that's still the Chicago Metroland area. Now, the fans who are going to bitch and complain about it, are they really fans? Are they really diehards? Oh, are you a fan of the city? Or are you a fan of the team? Are you a fan of the organization? That's the thing. It's like I think like look, if they're Raider fans who drive from Oakland to Vegas to go to games, there are still fans for the Chargers. Go from San Diego to LA to go to games. Diehard fans will be the diehard fans. The casual fans, big deal.
Bruce, we're getting a little
Oh, sorry about that, guys. My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, but
I mean, if they look at, I think Lake County, honestly, more so than Gary is the option because if you think about it, if you look at where Lake County sits, yeah, I'm going to see Avatar tomorrow. That's why I put in the subject header Thursday Night Football or Avatar because Avatar opens up nationally tonight in the movie theater. I'm seeing Avatar before the Bears-Packers game on Saturday afternoon. Anywho, if you look where Hallis Hall is, it's in Lake County. If you look in that area, there's a lot of land in that area they could get. Some of it's government land for NAS Naval Air Station Great Lakes. That's as they drew down a little bit is not being utilized, and the Bears could buy that from the federal government dirt cheap. Right. So, and here's the thing too, like that area up there by NES Great Lakes is kind of like an economic sinkhole.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I needed that today, man.
So, I mean, putting the Bears in Lake County really is in a weird way. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't where they went to begin with it instead of Arlington Heights, because there's tons of opportunity there. And even if you went as far north as we're sit by Six Flags Great America and all that up there, which is a little bit, almost on the border with Wisconsin. There's a lot of land. You're in Lake County. You're closer to Hallis Hall. So
they should just move to Sheboygan.
Look at, I mean, and here's the thing: like the Bears won't move to Florida because
Milwaukee,
Milwaukee is actually only 45 minutes north. So why not?
Milwaukee Bears.
And Milwaukee is dying to get an NFL franchise, just like Orlando. Orlando won't get it because the Bucks, the Jags, and the Dolphins will all bitch at Goodell about it. Now they'll put the kibosh on it. However, there are other places. If you really want to move out of Chicago and even leave the Illinois area, you could come right up here to Alabama. They'd kill for a team in Alabama.
Milwaukee would definitely want them.
Milwaukee, Louisville would kill. I mean, there are other cities. St. Louis would die to get a team back. Wouldn't that be ironic if the Bears moved to where the Cardinals moved? I mean, from Chicago. When the Chicago Cardinals moved to St. Louis, I mean, look at the history. You want to keep everything in Chicago or close to Chicago as possible, right? As long as you're in the Chicago Metroland area, you're good. I don't think Kevin Warren and the Bears organization are looking to move to Milwaukee or Orlando or anything, but Lake County, or Gary, Indiana, are way in possibility. Let me see, Fred. Fred said, "You said to go buy farmland. And if the Bears move there, what else might build around? Do you want the Bears to be surrounded by tourist traps and turn into the Wisconsin Dells?" I mean, look at though, dude. Like, if you look at Lake County and some of those areas, like you go up there, up by Hallis Hall, you go just a few miles north. There's tons of farmland, but you're still in the burbs. Like the burbs are right there. The burbs are moving out that way anyway. So all you're doing, you could build a stadium with tons of shopping out, shopping mall, the whole nine out there. You'll probably put some Marriott in the suites and some stuff like that out there, a Hilton or two, whatever. It's not going to turn into the Wisconsin Dells because you're still in the Chicago metropolitan area. I mean, you're moving out by Libertyville. If you're talking Libertyville is right there by Hallis Hall, right? I mean, that's actually closer to where all the players live anyway. Most of the players live in Lake County. because Hallis Hall is in Lake County. A lot of them live in the Libertyville area. So if you go just a few miles north of Libertyville and buy up some of that farmland or buy up some of that land at NAS Great Lakes, which is right there, you're still in the Chicago area. You're in the Chicago suburbs. That's all. You're moving about 15 miles from Arlington to go there. 15, 20 miles. You're still right in the area. It's just where Arlington Heights sits in relation to Cook County and Lake County. You're right there by Lake Cook Road. I mean, it's not that far. I grew up there. Trust me, you're right there. Lake County borders Buffalo Grove, which borders Arlington Heights. To give you an idea. So to move it to Lake County is not that far of a stretch.
So,
and like I said, I think this is more of a ploy by Kevin Warren and the Bears to get Cook County to play ball. Or they found some land in Lake County they can get dirt cheap or for free and want to move it closer to Hallis Hall.
Hey, hold on. Woody, you hate all Pennsylvania teams, right? If the Bears move to Pennsylvania, would that make you hate them?
No, because I'll be out of Pennsylvania by then.
Okay.
And like there would be no landing spot.
Hey, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to screw with Woody.
Woody, where are you moving to?
Tennessee.
Good for you, man.
Tennessee.
Congrats,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I could have met you on Black Friday, but you didn't want to meet me. So I understand.
I'll tell you what, I was hammered with my family and we were just loving life watching that game, man. And then listening to WIP and the Philly sports media afterwards, man, it was hysterical. It was great.
Work was so quiet. I loved it.
So what are you going to the Nashville area or Knoxville or Chattanooga? Where are you going, man?
We're in between Knoxville and Chattanooga, so we're about 2.5 hours, probably Nashville.
Good stuff, man. Dude, I'm glad to hear that, man.
I want to move closer to Ken. That's why.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
But, of course, because we're hard workers.
Oh yeah, very hard work. But I agree with Mike. When Mike made his comment earlier, like the timing on this in terms, I can get where Mike is. Like, why are we bringing this up? We're in this playoff push. The Bears are doing really good. He doesn't want this to affect the team, and I get that sentiment. But like I said, I don't think the players, when the media eventually asks the players, you know what the players are going to say? We don't care.
Now, I got a question because obviously I'm not following it super closely. Was this almost brought up out of nowhere by Warren, or was there kind of talks with the county officials and that type of thing?
I mean, that's been reported. This is out of nowhere because we didn't hear of this.
Yeah, that's what. That's what I meant was publicly.
Yeah, this is the Bears are going public because they're like, or maybe they're in negotiations with the county and they're like, you know what, we're not playing. We're just gonna put the statement out and throw the warning shot across the bow. Make no mistake about it. This is a warning shot by the Chicago Bears to Cook County saying you may lose the team altogether. The city's already lost.
I was going to say. I was just going to say, so they're definitely playing the leverage game too, like you're saying, Ken, but I think that all started like 3 years ago when they bought Arlington Heights racetrack. And now it's like, yeah, if Chicago or Cook County, tomorrow we're like, okay, we're going to play ball, give you some tax breaks, Pritzker's like, okay, the state will give you some money as well. Bears are staying in Chicago, you know what I mean? Or at least like in Illinois, like close by, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, I actually think I don't think that's going to happen. And I kind of think like, dude, if this Governor Braun moves quick, which it sounds like he's pouncing on it, like, I think it might be more than a warning shot. I think this now might be like serious consideration for the Bears.
And like fans, look, don't be mad at the Bears if they pick up stakes and move to Gary. I mean, you know what? This is all on your elected officials in Illinois. They are playing Russian roulette with your team because it makes okay, look at the point where the Bears you don't have to give us $200 million to help build this stadium. We'll fund it ourselves. Right, the Bears have pretty much resigned to the fact when they said Arlington, that they're going to fund it themselves. But if you're going to lose a team because you don't want to give them tax breaks for, because look, it's not like you give these guys perma tax breaks, right? They get a tax break window. Like for the first 5 years, your taxes are cut for this, that, and the other, right? Look at every stadium that's built. Tax breaks aren't permanent. They're 5 or 10 year, breaks, this, that, and the other. Look at all the money these stadiums generate. Look at all the revenue that's brought in when they build these stadiums. Look at the job creation, the amount of taxes raised, even with the tax breaks. These cities and counties and states make buku dollars off these projects, right? They don't lose money. Well, for the most part, they lose money. This is the part where they lose money. When they put $200 million in a stadium and the payment plan's 30 years long, yeah, they lose money. But the Bears aren't asking you for money. They're saying, give us a tax break. That's all we're asking here. Like, give us whatever it's not like we're asking for free property tax, free sales tax. No, give us a tax break so we can construct this and help us save a little money because we're going to make you a shitload of it. So if you're giving them a tax break, you're still going to make money. You don't give them a tax break and they leave altogether, you've now lost millions of dollars in tax revenue if you're the state and if you're the county as well.
Hey, could I address Fred's comment? Like, so Fred, yeah, there were some Raider fans who were pissed off, right? But this is a lesson for the Bears. Like, if if the Bears are smart, they'll pay attention to how that whole Oakland, Las Vegas thing went down, because I actually agree with Broski on this. I think that if the Indiana governor is like serious about it and he comes with a proposal that makes sense, the Bears might just jump on it. Because Mark Davis, when he was negotiating with Libby Schaaf, like all they wanted no money. All they wanted was the land, and they had private investors that were going to come in and invest the rest of the money to build shopping malls and hotels and all this kind of stuff that was going to generate revenue for the city. And when they kept dragging their feet and saying no, well, then Sheldon Adelson and that group came, and the Nevada governor came with a plan, like already worked out, like stadium plans, everything. Showed Mark Davis, and Mark was like, well, I can sit here and try to fight the city of Oakland for another 2-3 years, or I have something on the table right now where they're financing the majority of the stadium. We're getting all these breaks, like, so I'm just going to take that. And once he took that, the city of Oakland went on a smear campaign against the Raiders to try to turn the Raider fans against them, like, oh, see, they're betraying us again, like this and that, when in fact that's not the case. Like, Mark Davis did everything he could to stay in Oakland. They just made it clear that what they wanted was a free ride. They wanted for Mark Davis and the Raiders to finance the entire stadium, buy the land, pay the taxes, and get nothing in return. And that's not how business is done. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised if the Illinois or the Indiana governor, if he comes with a plan and the Bears take this plan, all of a sudden, all that leadership in Chicago, in that Chicago area, is going to start to be like, oh, see, the Bears never wanted to stay in Chicago. It's like the way they frame it is just so dishonest. It's so dishonest.
And Barry, I get this comment here, and Barry, we're trying to stay as apolitical as possible here. This is the unfortunate part where politics and sport kind of intersect in some way, because the funding of stadiums is a very political thing, right? And I don't know why, because it generates revenue. I mean, it generates revenue for the city that they're built in, the county they're built in, the state they're built in. The political aspect.
It also employs a lot of people in that area. They're going to lose a lot of jobs too.
They're going to lose a lot of jobs, and the thing is like, this is what I don't get. Like, I don't care if you want to fight the federal government on the immigration policy. I don't care if you want to fight, whatever fight locally you want to fight in terms of your politics. Like, this could fund it, right? Because of the money it generates. Like, in your fight for doing whatever public platform you want, for I want to provide free widgets to the population, and I want to fund it so I don't have money to build a stadium. That's fine. The Bears aren't asking you for actual dollars. They're saying, we'll fund it. Give us tax breaks. those tax breaks aren't killing you. They're still adding to your pot of money, right? To do whatever project you want to do, whether it's give every citizen a widget or give everyone whatever. You're funding your programs with the revenue that you're making off of the professional sporting team, building a complex in your city or town, right? You are. It's job creation. It's look at it's not much more simplistic. It's much more deeper than just they're putting a stadium, dude. It's not just the construction workers you're making money from people getting jobs, but now local businesses, especially food places, do better because guess what? Guys gotta go eat lunch. So all those little eateries make money at lunch that weren't making the money at lunch. So they see an uptick in business. Then during game day, that local area sees uptick. You got people who are employed. I mean, there's a whole cascading effect of revenue generation here.
No more Wiener Circle.
Yeah. You may be given a tax break to the team to build a stadium, but you're making tons of tax revenue off campus, so to speak, and all the restaurants and shops and hotels and everything else that are now going to be, get patronage that weren't getting patronage before because that stadium wasn't there or even when it's being built. So I don't understand why Cook County all of a sudden now is saying, well, we're not going to play ball with the Bears, building a stadium within our county still. Unless they're, now they're trying to say, well, you must build in Chicago. No, I own land in Arlington. So you're not going to tell the Bears where they're going to build their stadium if they own land in Arlington. Right? I mean, there's just, and then exactly, bring it back up, Ken. Fred, you're right. Now, and plus with it being a dome stadium, that's an argument, dome versus open air, that can be had in the summer, and we have nothing else to talk about. But now that you're building a dome stadium, now you're getting even additional revenues. WrestleMania, Big Ten, the Big Ten Conference Championship football game might be played there. An NCAA Final Four, the Aero Tour, whatever.
Jesus Christ. You say Big Ten, Ken?
Well, yeah, the Big Ten would probably play their championship game at the new stadium.
Oh, here we go.
But I mean, you're getting college. You're getting those events though that you normally might not get in the open air stadium. You're getting a plethora of other events now. Because remember, here's the thing with Soldier Field: it's good only for a certain part of the year. The rest of the year, they're not putting concerts in it. You're not getting WrestleMania. You're not getting or any other kind of pay-per-view for wrestling, for that matter. You're not getting monster truck rallies in February or March. You're not getting all those things. You build a dome stadium, now you're getting conventions, you're getting whatever, you're getting all kinds of shit. That's money that's being generated. Right? Now, so it's even more money.
And that's where I was going to say, and that's where Chicago lost out to Indianapolis 20 years ago when they renovated Soldier Field instead of building a new stadium. Lucas Oil, they host the Super Bowl, they host NCAA Final Four, they host Big Ten
Combine.
Conference championships, etc. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Combine, and they make a lot of money on Lucas.
Yeah.
Actually, get this.
Sure.
My stepdaughter's in color guard. She's in the Worlds, and that's where they performed this year down in Lucas Oil. So yeah, I remember saying what you're saying.
So I mean,
yep.
This whole thing, like I think Gary would be Plan C. Plan B would be Lake County. Because they're fine with what the state's going to do. But if Lake County is going to play ball and they got the land at Lake County where they can keep it in the northwest suburbs where most of the fan base lives anyways, and it's closer to Hallis Hall, and they don't have to move Hallis. Because if you move to Gary, you're not keeping the Hallis Hall in Lake Forest. It's too far away from your stadium. It's like a 2-hour drive to get through the city and everything else to get to Gary.
They better change that fucking name they've moved there, because if it's the Gary Bears, I'm going to throw up.
No, it'll be the Chicago Bears because it's still the Chicago metropolitan area.
All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, they'll keep the name. But I mean, I think Lake County makes the most sense because you could build it, like I said, by NAS Great Lakes out there. There's tons of land out there. I'm sure they could get some. I'm sure the county would be happy to do eminent domain on some of it too. And you've got infrastructure right off 90, off of the interstate. I mean, it's not far from O'Hare, and now you can have people flying the Mitchell in Milwaukee, so Milwaukee will love it because they'll get some revenue off of it too. That'll just be more money the state loses, But I mean, I think Lake County makes sense. You could put it somewhere up in that area near Lake Forest or up in that area there by Naval Station, Great Lakes. I mean, there's stuff you can even build it on the lake on lakefront actually up that way too. Actually, so I mean, there's possibilities there for them. There are possibilities there.
What's the updated injury report look like for the Bears Packers game this weekend?
He had limited from Watson.
No, the Bears. The Bears he's talking about. We don't care about Green Bay.
No, nobody cares about the Bears. The old city doesn't care about it.
Joe, there's not much
blue
change
people.
from yesterday. There's really not much change from yesterday. I mean, yeah, I have the slide on the other.
Komet's limited. Rome is definitely out. Burden did not practice, and so we need to make sure Burden and Komet both play.
Yeah, Burden's an ankle though, and they talked about. They said it sounds like he'll probably play, but Rome they're kind of quote unquote protecting him from himself, and maybe just are holding him out for a week or two. We spent a whole day on the Chicago Bears stadium.
That's not our running back too, because he was drafted to be the running back too. He's just only seen the field for one game his entire freaking career. So yeah, Marshawn Lloyd's most likely going to be out for the season, but that's not a loss because he was never on the field in the first place.
What are your or Broski? Would you be surprised if Cook County caves before the playoffs start and the Bears end up building in Arlington?
At this point, I'd be shocked.
Very, very surprised.
Really would.
I mean, what boggles my mind is this: we bought this land 3 years ago, about damn close. We'll just call it 3. It's close enough. And they haven't broke ground, and they still don't know. And we said at the beginning of the year, this is where we're going to build. And here we are now, 3 months after we announced that this is where we're going to build. And we're still in this mess. I mean, that should tell you what a mess Illinois is. I mean, most cities, man, most teams, you look at LA, man. They said we want to build SoFi. They bought Balmoral, and within a year they broke ground and built SoFi. And look how great that's turned out for LA. Like, why the hell? I get it. Lori Lightfoot was an idiot, and she killed Chicago's chances. They could have done some things, and she refused to, and then she threatened the team. And so, fine. And look, buying the racetrack, fine. I mean, I understand the city being a little miffed at that, but you were still in the area. But now, like, to force the county into this bad situation, I'm like, just how screwed up is Illinois and Cook County in general that you're going to lose one of the founding franchises of the NFL, not just from the city, but from the county it was founded in, over the most trivialist bullshit you could lose it on, giving them some tax breaks to build the stadium.
Yeah, and my question is, if they do build in Indiana, what are they going to do with the Arlington Heights property?
They'll just sell it, or they'll develop it in some other way.
Oh, fun there, Fred. Well, hopefully you have some good luck with your appointment.
Yeah, definitely.
He said 40-40 tie Bears and Green Bay.
What did the Packers management say on the Bears stadium since the Packers own the Bears? Ha ha. Philip, you have no say. Packer fans, sorry, Packer owners, you have no say with your little pieces of paper.
Man, those little pieces of paper aren't looking so bad now, seeing as how the Bears are going to have to leave Chicago, and Packers aren't going to ever leave Green Bay.
What do you mean, little papers? You Packers fans can write? Is that what you're like? What are you talking about?
Look at, like, that's the thing though. Like in Green Bay, like whatever they understand it. See, like honestly, like look at Cook County. If you want to understand it, go look at Green Bay. Whatever the Packers need to keep that stadium relevant, they understand the value of having that franchise, the stadium where it sits, and they understand the value of what that brings.
They'll fight every so often, but it's only a fight to a certain point, and usually the city says, you know what, okay.
Yeah, because they know it generates millions of dollars for them.
Because I don't understand Green Bay. Like they said, because they still have bench seats up there, correct? In the stadium, bench seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they would go to regular seating, they would lose what 10,000 seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So they're losing money. So just keep the benches there, bud.
Oh, yeah. That's what most of the plan is. They float that shit about switching the seating every few years.
I mean, look at they're smart. Look at some of these, even look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati was smart enough to realize how much revenue is generated by the Bengals being there, that they gave the Bengals whatever they needed to keep that stadium there. Right? I mean, they're just this is where you just want to take the politicians and smack them across the head, no matter what side of the aisle they're from, and say, dude, you're literally going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars by letting this franchise walk. Look at Oakland. Not only have they lost their NFL franchise, they've just lost their Major League Baseball franchise.
They lost their basketball franchise too.
Yeah, and
the Warriors went across the bay to San Francisco.
And look at San Diego. They lost their franchise, their NFL franchise. And look how much money they've all lost. I mean, it's just like, but I get it. Once again, you're in a state where your population is dwindling. You keep taxing and other stupid shit. And so a lot of the money, fine. The Bears have already said, fine, we don't need your money. We just want a tax break. Give them the damn tax break, Cook County. Keep them in Arlington Heights. And you know what? The city of Chicago still makes money off of it. Not as much as they were for the stadium being built in the city, but they're still going to make some money, and the state's going to make money. Everyone's still going to make some money in Illinois. You let them go to Gary, dude. I mean, you're hosed.
Yeah, and think about how much more money they'll make when they increase the seating capacity in the stadium by like 40,000.
I mean, the Sky Bridge will make a lot of money, which is split with Indiana anyways. But you'll get more hotels. People are going to fly in and stay. I mean, it's yeah.
Hey, yeah. Philip, you're not wrong, Philip. But I just want to point out the city of Oakland was already a shithole when the Raiders were there, but now there's just no reason to go to Oakland at all. Like,
and Dorn, you're not wrong. The Mayor Johnson, he's not just greedy; he's a moron. The dude's an idiot, and he tried to salvage what Lori Lightfoot did with the team, and he couldn't. But now he's trying to sabotage Arlington Heights and Cook County in general, right? With this, like, if you let the Bears build there because we want them. Dude, I'm sorry, man. This is the leadership in Cook County and the state of Chicago and the state of Illinois are screwing this thing. They're screwing it all up. And Indiana could pounce and they're gonna, and look at Bears fans are gonna suffer some. The state's gonna suffer immensely with the hundreds of millions of dollars they're about to lose. You're talking about $1 billion+ project that may leave the state. And the sad part is by the time the voters get pissed off enough to vote these people out, it'll have been too late. The team will have already moved.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
By the way, there's a football game tonight. But like I said, I think most people are going to go see Avatar versus watching the
I was going to say it's a damn good football game tonight.
Was it the Dolphins?
It's the Seahawks and Rams.
Oh, Seahawks and Rams. That's right. Yeah, that one might be worth watching. So yeah, either watch the Seahawks and Rams or go see Avatar. I'm gonna see Avatar Saturday. I'll watch football tonight, and then hopefully this Bears stadium thing. I mean, it made for a good discussion today. I kind of agree with Carrico, on one aspect of it. The other aspect, man, the team's got to get something done because it's been 3 years and we haven't broke ground yet. That's why, Dorn, it's leverage. It's leverage. And on that last terrible question by Dorn and take by me, we're going to bid you guys adieu for the day. Don't forget JV's next, Talking Lions. There's football tonight, and Ken and I and Joe and Broski maybe and other folks will be back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy it.